I'm recording. Yes, good. So, welcome everybody to 52 Living Ideas. Because it is our lot, I will tell you today it is Poetry Tuesday for me and for DLJ, at least, right? So, we're exploring W.H. Auden today. In case you guys wondered, yes, he is a Londoner. So, there is a nod there to my having escaped your continent and running off to this one. And so we're going to explore him a little bit. I will admit I'm not super familiar with all of his works. There's just a few of them. He does have a VNL. Not as many people do VNLs, but I do have a soft spot for the absolute skill that goes into a VNL. For those of you who are not overly familiar with the formats of a VNL poem, it is a very, very structured poem. Like, it has a specific rhyming pattern in addition to having specific line that repeats the same exact line. What I will do later on today, I will share with you the one VNL that I myself actually wrote, and I'm quite proud of it because to write a VNL is actually no simple feat. But first, let me start with our featured poet today is W.H. Auden. And the poem I'm going to start us off with is If I Could Tell You. Before I get into it, actually, I just want to know, does anyone want to hear more details on the background of a VNL, or are you guys, most of you familiar with a VNL?
No, I'd love to hear more.
More about a VNL?
Yeah, go for it. I'm ignorant of everything.
I can never remember what it is. Would love to hear again.
Okay, so VNL poetry, it actually comes from French. It's a French verse form. It consists of 5 3-line stanzas and a final quatrain, with the first and the third lines of the first stanza repeating alternately in the following stanzas. So everybody knows of Dylan Thomas's Do Not Go Gentle into the Night. That is a VNL poem. And he goes rage, rage against the dying light. That is his refrain. So, and if you don't see very many poems that have that many times of a refrain of a repeating line, that was it. Now, if you ever count syllables and rhyming schemes, it's syllabically and rhythmically very structured in a VNL. There's very little wiggle room there for artistic interpretation. You follow a certain thing. But the nice thing is that they all flow very, very lovely. And that's the most famous one, I think. I think everybody knows that song, that poem, Do Not Go Gentle. So that's what I usually point to when anyone asks what exactly is a VNL. So there's that. And it is one of the most strict patterns. And usually you also find it to be exactly 19 lines. It will be. Almost every VNL is 19 lines. And it's grouped into 6 separate stanzas, and that's just the way that you do it. The structurization, it gives it this lyric quality that makes it sound almost like it's a song. And the refrain helps with that illusion. Now, I am not going to sing this poem for you, but as I read it, hopefully, you'll get a little bit that feeling of the lyrics of it. So, featured poet, W.H. Auden. This is his poem, the Anel poem titled, If I Could Tell You. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Time only knows the price we have to pay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. If we should weep when clowns put on their show, if we should stumble when musicians play, time will say nothing, but I told you so. There were no fortunes to be told, although, because I love you more than I can say, if I could tell you, I would let you know. The winds must come from somewhere when they blow. There must be reasons why the leaves decay. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Perhaps the roses really want to grow. The vision seriously intends to stay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. Suppose all the lions get up and go, all the brooks and soldiers run away. Will time say nothing but I told you so? If I could tell you, I would let you know. So to me, this is his best poem. It's my favorite of his. Now, this is not his most known poem. And if you were to Google W.H. Auden's most popular poem, this is not the one that shows up. But it is one of my choice favorites. So cue yourselves in the chat if you would like to share a poem. You guys all are regulars. It does not have to be W.H. Auden. Any poem will be just lovely for us to listen to. First up, I have Joe. I will probably...
You ruined my evening. I have the same poem.
Dang it, Joe, get out of my head.
So,
That just means you have impeccable taste.
so
My
that's
bad,
actually
my bad.
that's good. No, that's good. That's good.
We're a small enough group if you absolutely need to like say something and don't feel like cueing yourself. Nobody's gonna be upset here, hopefully. And if somebody is, let us know. Okay, Joe. So what else are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with yourself now, Joe?
I'll read it again. I
I'm not
came here to
against
read
that.
it. I came here to read it.
I am not against that. Go for it. Joe, you're up.
If I could tell you, time will say nothing, but I told you so. Time only knows the price we have to pay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. If we should weep when clowns put on their show, if we should stumble when musicians play, time will say nothing, but I told you so. There are no fortunes to be told, although, because I love you more than I can say, if I could tell you, I would let you know. The winds must come from somewhere when they blow. There must be reasons why the leaves decay. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Perhaps the roses really want to grow. The vision seriously intends to stay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. Suppose all the lions get up and go, and all the brooks and soldiers run away. Will time say nothing, but I told you so? If I could tell you, I would let you know. And I really like this one as well, Maritza, for the, and the reason is that time will ultimately tell us, what's going to happen. We seem so eager to know, like how to be certain about the future. And even when I first read this, I actually thought, and that everybody's so much, is so into prediction these days, and and predicting what the person's going to do. I just thought to myself, this is a pretty cool poem, and it was like I agree with you. It was the one that stuck out to me as well.
Lovely, thank you. So if you guys, any of you would like to read a poem, please go ahead and cue yourselves in the chat. While you are getting your courage to cue yourselves, I'm going to share with you another one of his poems. This one is called Autumn Song. And this one is like the ups and downs of like youth and life in general. But it's quite lovely. I'm pretty low bar for me. I think most poems are quite lovely. So this is Autumn Song. Now the leaves are falling fast. Nurse's flowers will not last. Nurses to the graves are gone, and the prams go rolling on. Whispering neighbors left and right pluck us from the real delight, and the active hands must freeze lonely on the separate knees. Dead in hundreds at the back, follow wooden in our track, arms raised stiffly to reprove in false attitudes of love. Starving through the leafless wood, trolls run scolding for their food, and the nightingale is dumb, and the angel will not come. Cold, impossible, ahead, lifts the mountain's lovely head, whose white waterfall could bless travelers in their last distress. It seems to be a little bit of a despairing poem, but I don't know. I like it. I like the rhyming scheme. I really appreciate most of Auden's poems have structure, and I like looking at them as proof that you don't lose some of the passion of a poetry just because you give it structure. So it's just a nice thing for me. As somebody, I like rhyming schemes quite a bit. So it says he is not a favorite of mine, but I do find him quite palatable. Are any of you guys familiar with him previously, or are you guys new to him mostly for tonight? Mostly new?
No,
Or if
yeah, I know a bit. Probably one of the first poems I ever experienced as a kiddie was Night Mail, which was the essentially the background to a movie about night mail.
That's what comes up as his like best known poem.
Oh, really? I thought that'd be Funeral Blues because of
those two, both of them.
Okay. So I think it's probably one of the first ones I experienced because the British Mail actually started to use it as I think maybe I'm just remembering this weirdly as a Mandela thing. I think British Mail started using it as part of an advert. So somehow it's ingrained in the UK psyche, or at least mine somehow. I never really liked Autumn until you just read it then. I thought, you know what, that sounds better than when I read it on a page. So good job, mate. Good job.
That's funny. Well, sometimes we get in our own head. We give, different meanings to poems. It's nice to hear, which is why it was actually kind of really nice for me to hear Joe read, If I Could Tell You, because I get a different perspective than when I'm reading it naturally, right? Well, Joe, it's just me and you reading poetry. Nobody
Well,
else
no,
wants
I
to.
was just going to comment basically on the same thing that DLJ had actually mentioned, because I had looked at Autumn a little bit earlier, and the reason I didn't select it is it's because I just felt like I liked how it sounded just now, but the reason I didn't select it is it just seemed a little gloom for fall. Fall's one of my favorite seasons, so that's like I know that he was looking at that as like transitioning to winter and all that, but I appreciated what you just read anyway.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Good to know the alcohol has not ruined my ability to read a poem. I'll take it. Paul, go right ahead, please.
Well, first, I just want to comment on this guy, Auden. This guy. I like the rhythm. There's rhythm and cadence in his poem. So, and without being familiar with him, I liked it. And that villanelle, maybe it's true, like you said, about the whole form that it lends itself to song, but the refrain is just basically a chorus that you could make a song just with very little work, which is not true of most poems. Now, I don't know if that's Auden or the form or both, but it was also true of the last one. So there's something very rhythmic in his writing style that I like.
There is. The VNL specifically are they're very lyric in that manner.
Yeah. But I can, with this little group, I can take a chance and read a strange little thing that I wrote. It was one of those things that, like middle of the night dreams that made no sense, but recorded, just sort of keeping my phone in bed with me. And then I turned it into something just before this meetup, just so that I'd have something to play with you all. So I'll read it, okay? It's a poem of mine. Can I do that?
Absolutely, please do.
All right, I have to, I posted it on Facebook, so I'm pulling up my own post on Facebook. So I can that way find it. All right. And you can also comment. Look, it's a small group, so tell me what you like and don't like about it. You know, make it a critique. I'm fine with that. It's a draft. Okay. My disillusionment with you, my discontent, the depth and breadth of my anger at your sham love was too vast to fit into this visible world. You were the tired target, ready as I was to simply agree and disappear. So at the end of our rope, we agreed to submit ourselves as data to the great AI. We were transformed into sacred geometry. Now I could destroy everything I hated about you, about what you had done, the wrath of pure emotion unleashed in a radiant Mandelbrot ring with a pie-eyed referee jerking erratically, the primed audience of our avatar friends present in irreducible, raptured witness, waves in the darkness cheering in evil glee. The match was launched. It was no contest. I reversed your power, recursed you, poured the hot oil of your own words upon you, played with you cruelly until I chose my time and tapped the star stream of all your weaknesses to deliver a fatal blow as only a lover can. I deconstructed your sensual fractal warrior into a million light splinters. Unable to re-energize or even try and strike back, you lay trembling on the translucent platform. The now calm referee and judge positioned himself before me, manifested as a large, narrow prism of power, held up my vibrating, oscillating hand, declared me the new, all-powerful master of my own equationally well-adjusted heaven, with the power to let it be hell, to recreate or destroy you as I saw fit. Finally satisfied with vectors of joy streaming down my face, I offered your pixelated remains to Princess Polygon. That line sounds very strange to me. Time stopped. My shape evaporated. I took a breath, removed my helmet, and noticed, as I hadn't for a long time, how beautiful you look watering the flowers on the deck. So that's that for the.
I know you lost me when you started giggling. I thought it was all kinds of deep, and then you started giggling.
I couldn't help it. It struck me so strange. My own line struck me so weirdly. I have to delete it or else I love it. I don't know. I'm sorry I broke my own rhythm.
That's
I was
hilarious.
surprised by my own line.
There was
pretty
something a little bit odd about Princess Polygon. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Princess
I thought the
Polygon.
Mandelbrot set was pretty
Oh,
interesting
yeah.
as well. You worked in there.
I think
Yeah.
I should remove Princess Polygon. She's too odd in there.
She takes away the depth because I
Yeah.
will say that what you're painting is this like visceral, like deeply seated, wrenching, emotional set, and then that pulls you out from it. At least in
Completely.
my thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to remove that. Thank you. Thank you for helping me with that.
Well, I think
Okay.
you did your own critique, actually.
That's
Well,
hilarious. The
it
giggle
hit
said it
me.
all, right?
It hit me too weirdly as I read. I couldn't change it in real time though. I wasn't thinking that fast. So thank
Fair.
you. Thank you for giving me a chance to like expose the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Did that one that just kind of flowed out in the whatever time in the morning into your phone kind of thing? Or how much editing have you done on it?
The first pass.
10 minutes. Most
So
of it was flowed. Yeah.
that
Okay, that
it reads
when
like
that happens.
somebody pissed you off, and then you went grumbling, grabbed your pencil and paper, and just like word vomit, but in a great poetic way. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
But nobody really pissed me off. Like that's a subconscious anger. I don't have a specific event it's even related to.
Note to self, don't piss off Paul Zen. So I always tell people, be careful pissing off writers. You may end up in their story.
Yeah.
Right? Same for poetry. Okay, so I have Brian and then JP next. Go ahead, Brian, please.
Okay, I want to add my own aspect of randomization in here. Partly because W.H. Auden is probably one of my least favorite poets. I don't like him at all, so I haven't chosen anything of his. The one I was going to read tonight was by J.R.R. Tolkien. However, as has been the habit of mine recently, I choose poems which are really far too long for this session. So I'm not going to do. I've told you in the past that I wanted to read the Tale of the Ancient Mariner, which I think is far too long. On that, I found another poem which is called The Tale of the Modern Mariner. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but it's almost the same poem, but brought up to date. And instead of the opening line being about an ancient mariner, it's about a divorcee. It's really fantastic. I like it very much. However, as you brought up this terrible thing called the villanelle, I want to read a poem about that, if that's okay.
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. A dainty thing's the villanelle, sly, musical, a jewel in rye. It serves its purpose passing well, a double-clappered silver bell that must be made to clink in chime. A dainty thing's the villanelle, and if you wish to flute a spell or ask a meeting neath the lime, it serves its purpose passing well. You must not ask of it the swell of organs grandiose and sublime. A dainty thing's the villanelle, and filled with sweetness as a shell. It's filled with sound and launched in time. It serves its purpose, passing well. Still fair to see and good to smell, as in the quaintness of its prime. A dainty thing's the villanelle, it serves its purpose, passing well. I like that because I don't particularly like villanelle. I have written some myself, and they are very hard to write, for me anyway. But I came across this poem by a guy called
Henley.
Henley, yeah. And I just thought it was so, that he actually put a villanelle in a villanelle and called it the villanelle. I thought that was fantastic. So there you go. That's it.
That is quite a bit of ingenuity. I was quite amused, and I know it well because I obsess a little bit. So I see the VNL as a challenge, and for me, I rather like it. So maybe for the same reason that some people don't like it, I do quite a bit. So thank you for sharing that. That's funny because I have seen that one before, and it's extremely striking because not only do they put the word in the title, they use it as one of the refrains, which is
it's brilliant actually. But
it really is so brilliant.
yeah.
Thank you, Brian. It's great. JP, you're next.
I have two poems to read. The second will be mine if I can go from one to the other, or I can wait for somebody else. And the
Nope,
first
absolutely.
is a
Go right ahead.
Thank you. And the first is a W.H. Auden cold poem. He watched with all his organs of concern how princes walk, what wives and children say, reopened old graves in his heart to learn what laws the dead had died to disobey, and came reluctantly to his conclusion: all the armchair philosophers are false. To love another adds to the confusion. The song of pity is the devil's waltz. And bowed to fate, and was successful so that soon he was the king of all the creatures, yet shaking in an autumn nightmare, sore, approaching down an empty corridor, a figure with his own distorted features that wept and grew enormous and cried, "Whoa." No idea where he's trying to go there. To me, it's a bit of all over the place, and you just got to try to figure out why at the end he's crying, "Whoa." Because that's what he's led to. So I figure everything else is leading to that, "Whoa."
That is one that I don't understand. Many of his poems are like that. They're kind of like baffling, but he does have some that are better to me. Like I like the more lyric of his, but he does have some that you're like, what were you trying to tell me with this one? Because it didn't work.
His poems do seem to be a lot about autumn and what's going on into our winter years and death and responses to it.
Right. I guess so. He does a lot of the I feel like he had a lot of disappointments with his life because a lot of his poems seem to show that like, you know, it's all for naught. Life will be disappointing. Go ahead,
Probably.
Brian. Brian, you had a comment?
Sorry, no, I didn't remember to mute. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I wasn't certain. Okay, JP, go ahead.
Okay. So for fun, the title looks like it's Nut Goddess, but it's actually about the Egyptian goddess Nut. And if you're familiar with the mythology of her, you'll understand the lines as they read. If you have any questions, please ask. I can tell you about her. My goddess of Egyptians, Nut, from destruction, heal my soul. Torch my solar sanguine hope. Light and lightning, take control. In rapture, starry gates of heaven. Above archangels, arch the truth. Rain my day to form the rainbows. Make my night eternal youth. From Egyptian twilight Nut, swallow me, your sacred sun. I follow darkness down through dawn, till world's reborn, till love's redone. Thank you.
That follows nicely with pause. Thank you. Anybody else hankering to read a poem?
Couldn't help
You know.
thinking that that poem was Newtonian metaphysics. See what I did there? Newton. No, exactly.
That's funny, but I'm going to stay neutral in my response.
I want to see that written or even said again. It's just like I need to read. Sometimes I need to hear things twice.
My
Would
poem?
you like to read it again?
I would like it if you don't mind.
If you would
Would you want me
indulge
to
us,
send it?
JP.
Well, can I send it? And then if somebody else wants to read it, maybe Joseph, somebody else read it?
Sure.
Hold a moment.
Talking of which, I'd quite like to hear Paul's again or see it written. If you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
So Paul, do you want to share yours?
You mean just post it in the chat or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes it is easier to see things written. And it allows me to cheat and grab them. So who would like to read JP's poem for him? He nominated you, Joe. Would you like to? You would have to unmute first. You're still muted.
All right, let me pull this up. Hang on. I just put it in a little bit bigger font. Nut goddess, my goddess of Egyptians. Nut from destruction, heal my soul. Torch my solar sanguine hope. Light and lightning, take control. In rapture, starry gates of heaven. Above archangels, arch through the truth. Rain my day to form the rainbows. Make my night eternal youth. From Egyptian twilight, nuts swallow me. Your sacred sun, I follow darkness down through dawn, till worlds reborn, till love's redone.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
I do need some education on nut.
Newt.
Newt.
Oh, is
Yes,
that Newt?
otherwise- Yeah,
It's
otherwise
Newt.
the joke, Newtonian, Newtonian metaphysics doesn't work as a joke. Newtonian, oh, it's Newt, yes.
It's Newt. Okay, without trying to get into too much of all the mythology, because my Asperger's wants to kick in and go dictionary and everybody and go encyclopedic. Newt is the goddess who is in charge of the celestial heavens. So she's the blue sky and she's all the stars. When the sun disappears at the end of the day, it's said that she swallows it and takes it through her body and rebirths the sun in the morning on the other side. It has certain central imaging about her because of her history. She's one of several sibling goddesses and gods. This happens through a lot of, if you're familiar with writings on gods and gods as to how gods and gods became, usually there's a primary god, and then there tends to be a mother, father god, and then there's always sibling gods. So she's interrelated with a lot of the gods. And her role is always to be enrapturing and holding all these things together to make sure day and night roll through each other. So there's that undercurrent of sexuality going on through the poem for my girlfriend I wrote. So, gonna turn red.
Thank you. That adds context. Maritza, I can't, my technical skills or something prevent me. I do a copy of my poem and then I position my cursor in chat and I hit paste and absolutely nothing happens, which makes me think this happens sometimes to me, that it's too big for the chat maybe?
Yes, it's too long. You have to truncate it and post it in 2 pieces.
Okay, well, let me try that quickly. I don't want to waste our time. Somebody else read something or something, you know. Hold on. I'll try to do it in 2 pieces.
I always have a poem. So,
Ah,
okay, since we've been speaking about VNL and you guys seem slightly more interested in the form of VNL than you are in W.H. Auden, let's read the classic. So the VNL that most of you are familiar with is Dylan Thomas's "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." So I'm going to read that for you just to give you a comparison between W.H. Auden's VNL and this one, which is one of the most popular. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they, do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright. Their frail deeds might have danced in the green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learn too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now, there on the sad height. No, apology. I am so sorry. I just read that wrong. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Terribly sorry. That was like the most crucial and critical stanza. I'm horrified. So sorry. The poem actually, to me, seems to be about him dealing with the loss of his father and trying to encourage his father to fight some more and stay alive. So that last song that was most critical. Terrible. But you see the same lyricism, the same kind of almost sing-song quality. Ah, but I see your poem, Paul.
Thank you for the Dylan Thomas. I think an important thing about this night is the spoken word aspect of it for me. Because that's how we deliver. We are speaking, we're not just reading. And I usually don't even read when people post things. I just listen. I
I
find
am-
it important this with this group this way. That's the best for me.
I'm working on how to make a special evening that is truly about the spoken word, because housed within that is slam poetry, rap poetry. That genre, it takes the reading of a poem to a new level.
Mm.
And I would like to explore that with you guys. So I'm doing my homework so that when I come to you, I'll have something delightful to share. Not there yet because I'm gallivanting across the world. Sorry. I will get there though. So let's see what else. I have.
But I'm just scanning Paul's.
Would you like to reread it? Maybe you can read it
Yeah,
for
read
us?
it. Yeah, I'd love that.
Well, I was going to critique it if you wanted, but anyway, I
That
haven't got-
too, yeah.
I haven't got
Or
all the way
either
through
or
it, but
both.
it just struck me this when you get to the bit about AI, we were transformed into sacred geometry, and there's almost a rhyme there, isn't no, it's all right. It's because I was thinking of Auden did, what was it, loved and I don't know, whatever the rhyme was, but you have to kind of twist the word a bit anyway. So I just thought, oh, twist that, it might actually rhyme, AI and geometry. Anyway, I just thought the next line, why destroy? Why not delete? Wouldn't delete be a good
I
word
like
to use?
that. I like that. That's perfect for the paradigm.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of keeps the theme, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I also
Yes.
feel in the terms of your little funny rhyme there's part of me wants to make the whole thing a humorous, like not wildly angry, almost like more like funny. I'm not sure which it's going to be, but because it's kind of funny, it has a funny potential in it.
Could be.
I like it.
I'm
Yeah.
still going through it. Sorry, this is bad TV, isn't it, Maritza? Because we're reading, we're reading, not talking. Do you want me to
No.
read it? I'll give it a reading it, but I haven't read the whole thing. If you want, I'll give it a
Yes, go right ahead. I think that's a good idea.
go. All right. I'm very bad at reading anybody's poem, but I'll try. Is there a title?
I originally titled it about an hour ago, Game Over. I even had the last line being Game Over. So that's a potential title.
Thanks for playing. Okay. Game Over by Paulson. My disillusionment with you, my discontent, the depth and breadth of my anger at your sham love was too vast to fit into this visible world. You were the tired target, ready as I was to simply agree and disappear. So, at the end of our rope, we agreed to submit ourselves to the data to the great AI. We were transformed into sacred geometry. Now I could delete everything I hated about you, about what you had done, the wrath of pure emotion unleashed in a radiant Mandelbrot ring with a pie-eyed referee jerking erratically. The primed audience of our avatar friends, present in irreducible raptured witness, waves in the darkness, cheering in evil glee. The match was launched. It was no contest. I reversed your power, recursed you, poured the hot oil of your own words upon you, played with you cruelly until I chose my time, and tapped the star stream of all your weaknesses to deliver a fatal blow, as only a lover can. I deconstructed your sensual fractal warrior soul into a million light splinters. Deconstructed your sensual fractal, oh, it's the same bit. Unable to re-energize or even try and strike back, you lay trembling on the translucent platform. The now calm referee and judge positioned himself before me, manifested in a large, narrow prism of power. Held up my vibrating, oscillating hand, declared me the new, all-powerful master of my own equationally well-adjusted heaven, with the power to let it be hell, to recreate or destroy you as I saw fit. Finally satisfied with vectors of joy streaming down my face, I offered your pixelated remains to the cheering crowd. Time stopped. My shape evaporated. I took a breath, removed my helmet, and noticed, as I hadn't for a long time, how beautiful you look, watering the flowers on the deck.
Thank you so much for reading that.
Lovely.
It made me
Sorry,
very happy to hear you read
Kind
it.
of got a bit clumsy in the middle of that because I was thinking about the poem while I was reading it, and that distracted me. I was having an Aspie moment, so JT, me too. Yeah, I'm an Asperger. So, so I got distracted myself. So apologies for that. I don't think I did very well.
No, not at all.
So you got destroy again. I don't know if you want to. Okay, well, actually, destroy, delete. Yeah.
No, I didn't change anything. Oh, I see. You could say delete there. Right. Delete, create or delete you as I see fit. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's a cool thought.
Whichever one of those.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw you do this at the recurse. I'm glad you
Yeah.
did because I got a kick out of that myself.
yeah, I got it. I just thought, oh yeah, got that one. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
well done.
Any more comments, you or anyone else? I'm stealing the whole time for my selfish
No.
purposes.
Not at all. Not at all. It's all good. We're a small group today. We're a little on the formal side. It's
I think I like doing. I think we should do more of editing of each other's stuff. I mean, if we feel brave enough, that's the thing.
I agree. I agree. I think it's huge, huge.
it's interesting. I'm not entirely against it. I don't know. I can get dicey. Poetry is such a
Yeah.
very personal thing.
I have
I
one
will.
question
Yes.
about the feeling. I want this poem to show the guy completely surrendering, like cured, healed, like just back in love again. Do I get that across, or is it not powerful enough at the end?
I wanted to
Oh.
comment on that. All the way through, it seems like he's trying to pluck something away. Pick this out, take that out. It's like the operation game where you want to make sure you don't get
Yeah.
electrified. You're taking every piece out. And when everything's removed, oh, you're still beautiful.
Well, that's
that works.
fantasy. Sorry. Apologies.
works.
Apologies. A bitter old hag over here. No. No, it's I didn't get that he was ready to fall in love again, but I did get that he was ready to move on. So that's similar.
Yeah.
Like he was letting it go. Because there's some interactions leave you with a rawness that actually shaves away from your enjoyment of day to day. And hopefully at some point you reach a point where you're like, I'm ready to put that in the past. I'm ready to let it go.
Yeah.
I feel that you're walking us through this process for this person.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you feel that because I feel that too.
Perfect.
Thank
I
you.
didn't get through the referee. I didn't get the referee reference. There you go, poetry itself.
I don't know why he's there. He could probably go away. I don't know. I don't know why it
Yeah, you've introduced a new character, and I'm not sure
what the hell's he doing there, right?
it kind of threw me as I was reading it, and I was thinking, I'm not sure what to do with it.
You know what's
I'm not sure
terrible? I don't even
voice to
remember
read
there
it.
being a referee in the poem. And you read it twice now. So that's
Yeah.
terrible of me.
He makes an appearance. I don't know why. I might just delete him. Thank you.
I like the imagery. I feel like the name, the game over, kind of also helps to frame it slightly, because when you say game over, now you've switched my mind to thinking of like maybe a video game. And there's something empowering. And by the way, I cannot video game. I am one of those idiots who really thinks that moving my controller moves the TV. It's the worst. Many skills, that's not one of them. But but what comes to mind when you say game over is like that, those type of video games where people play like ad nauseum, like, I don't know, God, you know what came to mind? This is horrifying, but I'm going to share it with y'all anyway. Atari came to mind. I know that we're like several thousand light years away from Atari,
Yeah.
but that's probably the last time I tried a controller.
But
So
Can I make one more comment?
please do.
Paul doesn't mind. So near the end, I wanted to tail off vocally because I was trying to pick the right voice for it. So I wanted to kind of slow it to you know what I mean. And I got tripped on the line that says I hadn't for a long time. I'd remove that one, I think. So remove my helmet and noticed how beautiful you look watering the flowers. I'm not sure it needs to be as I hadn't for a long time. I think that's kind of
funny, that came. I actually added that later. So it's funny, it wasn't there. So you recognized it as not native to the flow.
Well, don't know whether.
Which is interesting, but I thought it needed reinforcing how he was changed. So that was a cognitive decision.
It's too long a line is my problem with it. So I would go for something, if you want something there at all, I'd go for and noticed once again how beautiful.
Oh, good. Very
I
good.
like that.
Very good. Thank you. Once again. That's nice. And Maritza, I mean, to me, when I reread it, it was just clearly that's a VR helmet. It's a game. Totally. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what the helmet is. That's what it is. It's a game. It's a virtual environment. No doubt about it.
I was
So if
thinking,
that wasn't obvious, that's a problem.
no. I was thinking that, well, you have to consider the source. I was thinking but the nice thing about the title Game Over, that it does frame it for that. And it makes me think of how a video game is like an all-encompassing fantasy type world.
Yeah.
But at some point you realize you can walk away from it. And that's kind of where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah. But this is obviously the next generation video game where you're in a whole world that it's my imagined video environment where it takes the actual content of the people, turns them into avatars in a deep way, and injects them into a world. That's the metaverse. That's like where my mind, I'm sure, got that, you know. But it's not just some little picture of a person. It's like the person, you know what I mean? We gave our data to the AI. It's like it scans your brain and puts you as this thing in the environment. That's what's going on in my mind when I think about this poem.
Okay. That is fascinating. It's interesting.
Anyway,
Very cool. Very cool. I almost feel like the poem I was going to read next seems woefully inadequate for this conversation.
I want to hear your Villanelle, if you were going to.
Yeah, it's not a great segue.
Oh, yes, it is. All segues are naturally great segues.
We'll be the judge.
Fine. Okay, so I actually did not label this. It actually has VNL, what I have instead of a title. All right, this is my VNL. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I don't want to be a brainless drone. If you don't get it, I won't explain. It all just seems so mundane. Can't stand wasting my life away. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I'm left feeling like the outsider again. It seems my thoughts are alien to all. If you don't get it, I won't explain. Oh, but I probably shouldn't complain. At least I know I'm in my own mind. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I don't want to be in the fast lane, but I refuse to be standing still. If you don't get it, I won't explain. It's the truth in me I wish to obtain. Rational thoughts should prevail. Tell me, please, am I going insane? If you don't get it, I won't explain. So that's my BNL.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. You're going insane.
Oh yeah, I've answered that. I figured. But you know, they do say that so long as you are asking yourself the question, there is hope. It's only when you stop asking the question that you should wonder.
Can you post it and have someone else read it? Like we did. I'd like to read it if I could.
Ah, that would be phenomenal.
Okay.
Yes. Give
Yeah.
me a moment to translate because I pulled it up on my phone. So let me pull it up on the computer. Somebody else, please read a poem. Give me a minute.
You got to do the line that's if you don't get it, I won't explain. It has to be said with more vitriol, because that's usually how it's said to me. Well, if you don't get it, I'm not going to tell you.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, I wrote the poem almost as though I were speaking to myself. So, you know, one like tries to treat oneself slightly more kindly than one treats others. Occasionally. All right, I'm pulling up my note, I don't know, I guess my journal online. You'll have to give me a moment. Oh no, I have to remember the password.
Marco is quiet tonight. You with us, Marco?
We bored him to tears.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, there you go. Marco, talk to us.
I actually have like a it's it's kind of like a song, but it's just like a it rhymes though, so I guess it's if that's okay to read that.
Of course,
Uh,
absolutely. Please do.
it's called When That Day Comes. Um, feeling rotten to the core. No, I can't rest till I have something more. Maybe I need an escape. If I'm somewhere else, then I'll be okay. Would I be happy if I was him instead? He's got more than I have, and I'm not okay. No, I don't care what you say. Until I get what I want, I won't be okay. And then the chorus is when that day comes, it'll be glorious. And then that repeats. And then the verse is, what if I stopped in my tracks? If I stood still, would my heart collapse? Maybe it's just enough. What I have is what I want. Would I be happy to be him instead? If I got what I want, I just want something else. No, I don't care what you say. I'll just sit right here because everything's okay. And then the chorus repeats, when that day comes, it'll be glorious. That's it.
Cool. Can I comment?
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
I don't know who the he is that you're referring to. I haven't got a visual in my head for that. Marco, who's your he?
I guess like when you compare it, it's just like when you compare yourself to like someone that has like more than you have, or like you just want what this guy has. Just it's not no one in particular.
Yeah, okay. Is it materially more or intellectually more or emotionally more, or where are we going with that?
Um, yeah, I guess more like um maybe more like successful, or
Okay.
yeah, like
Thanks.
Excuse me, sorry.
Cool. Again, it's the one I'd like to see written so I can have a look at it. Thank you.
Yeah, same thing.
Marco, is this, can you tell me one more time who's the author of this poem?
it was just a song I wrote. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
I
So it's your poem.
oh
Awesome.
yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. If you feel comfortable sharing the lyrics, I know many of us would love to see them. I would enjoy seeing the lyrics. All right. So I'm going to, speaking of lyrics, I do have my lyrics up. I will throw them up, and Paul, feel very free to
I
read it.
shall. I shall. I'm waiting.
I am really digging this whole hearing poems twice by different readers. It just
Me
gives
too.
a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
All right, there it goes.
Okay. All right. And what is its title?
It is untitled, unfortunately.
Okay. Untitled by Maritza. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I don't want to be a brainless drone. If you don't get it, I won't explain. It all just seems so mundane. Can't stand wasting my life away. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I'm left feeling like the outsider again. Seems my thoughts are alien to all. If you don't get it, I won't explain. Oh, but I probably shouldn't complain. At least I know I am in my own mind. Tell me, please, am I going insane? I don't want to be in the fast lane, but I refuse to be standing still. If you don't get it, I won't explain. It's the truth in me I wish to obtain. Rational thoughts should prevail. Tell me, please, am I going insane? If you don't get it, I won't explain.
You read that very, very well.
It resonated with
Indeed.
me. Every
Indeed.
line. Every line. Thank you, Maritza.
No, my thanks to you. That's it. I'm never reading my poems. I'm making Paul read them from now on. Wow, it's fascinating to hear it from another.
Yeah.
It was so
Interesting.
easy to make it so expressive. And it's, as a musician, especially the jazz tradition, the way the great jazz singers took the same refrain and sort of gave it a different color every time they sing it. That's exactly what this needs. You need to like come back to that with a new light on. If you don't get it, I won't explain. Every time you come back to it, I just felt that happening very strongly.
That's kind of, I guess, yeah, that's kind of the way it shaped out for me. It was a different exploration of that, like the feeling of, we have these emotions sometimes within us that we're convinced that others just can't get, but we're just as convinced that we cannot explain it. So when you're saying it, it's not actually a refusal. It's a statement of fact that you just cannot explain it, as it were. Thank you. That was quite lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Well, folks, we have, managed to natter off here for over an hour. We should probably plot or, write upon. Let's see. We are a
Yeah,
small
that's
group.
like a good impulse.
Yes, it's supposed to be impulsivity. Do we want to hop off into separate groups? We can do like 4 and
No, I
3, or do
think
we want to stay all together? We're enjoying each other's company.
all together is good. All together.
All
Together
together,
is
yeah. This is a nice group, yeah.
nice. I'll take it. Okay, so we're looking at impulsivity. That this is a fun group to be doing impulsivity with. That's hilarious, actually. Okay, so let me save Paul's poem, and then we can move on to writing a poem.
So we're going to come back to Marco.
Yes,
his
when
poem?
Marco posts, we will pause because we make exceptions for
Yes.
this group. Why not?
There it is.
Yay. Oh, perfect timing. Let me mute.
different reader. So I think JP, do you want to have a go at this one? Picking on JP.
I'm taking a look at it. Hold on.
Or Brian. Brian hasn't had a go yet, if you want to.
Just totally peeking. You know, we're gonna let DLJ be the moderator today. I'm just visiting.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Sorry,
You're
was that-
not. Don't lie. Don't lie. It's okay. No worries. You know,
So it just shows
he
I'm
feels
enjoying myself.
entitled because I'm in his city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in my hood.
I mean, your hood. No, aren't you out? You're technically outside of London, aren't you?
Yes, far enough out for it not to be London.
Fair. I was gonna
We
go to
have-
Stone.
We have trees where I am. Yeah.
There are trees here. What are you talking about? Hyde Park was. I walked and walked and walked in Hyde Park, and then my niece is looking at me like it's just trees, Didi. It's trees, and I was
But
like, "But
they're-
there's
No, they're cultivated trees. It's different. It's an
no,
entropy.
no. I saw a tree that so wide I could not get my hands around it. I tried to hug it, and it was not possible. Huge.
I've got those in the back garden.
Say again?
Oak trees got them in the back garden.
No, this was not an oak tree. Definitely not an oak tree. It was huge though, like so giant. Yeah, no, my hands didn't fit around. It was ginormous. Like it was cool though. Really like it's fascinating. The old growth. They had some really nice old growth. Anyway, nobody wants to hear me wax and poetic about trees. You all just fell asleep right now. So JP, go please read that.
Feeling rotten to the core. No, I can't rest till I have something more. Maybe I need an escape. If I'm somewhere else, then I'll be okay. Would I be happy if I was him instead? He's got more than I have, and I'm not okay. No, I don't care what you say. Until I get what I want, I won't be okay. And when that day comes, it'll be glorious. What if I stopped in my tracks? If I stood here, would my heart collapse? Maybe it's just enough. What I have is what I want. Would I be happy to be him instead? If I got what I want, I just want something else. No, I don't care what you say. I'll just sit right here, 'cause everything's okay. And when that day comes, it'll be glorious. Marco, I hope I did okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
That was great. Marco, it's fascinating. You know, seeing it written gives me a better appreciation for how very much it has so many similarities with AVNL, with the refrain and it strengthens Paul's initial statement at the beginning of this evening on how a VNL does very much resemble a lyric quality. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you both for sharing and for reading. I am quite enamored by the dual readings. I really am. I like it. But now we gotta like get ourselves in gear here. And you know, Shrikant's gonna listen to this and be like, what happened? I cannot leave them without adult supervision ever again.
Yeah, the day he was hosting, he just blew off the poem entirely, and we just talked a few weeks ago. I'll give you a secret. I'll tell him. Sorry,
That's
Shrikant, if I gave you away.
No, he did tell me that he didn't get to it. He's like, we were just having a fascinating discussion. Fair. Yeah, no, I was sick. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to, I had been looking at, let's keep it within the 16 lines perhaps. Let's challenge ourselves. How do you feel about making it rhyme? Are you against that?
I don't think we should require it personally.
Poem about
Fair.
impulsivity that is structured.
I'm about it.
Sounds a bit
Okay.
contradictory.
All right. We'll see what comes out then. I can live with that. All right. Do you see the screen? White?
Do you see the screen?
Do you see white page?
Yep.
Yes. So I usually have like dual and triple screens. So I'm like, I have just one now. I have to figure out how plebeians can deal with just one screen. Sorry.
I want to say one more thing about thank Marco for his poem and say, we're all writing and talking about struggling to get our voice heard out there. And Marco's was one version of it. Yours was one version of it. Mine was one version of it. So
I
I
noticed
just wanted
that.
to make that point.
Yes, I was thinking that his flowed so perfectly with like it just was the perfect tail end of the other themes because it tied into all of them actually. But it was quite lovely. I feel like he was listening to the poems and he said, I know this is the one. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I like that. So let's do this. Let's give ourselves a clock. 20 minutes as per the usual. I don't have to go into the spiel because y'all are all familiar with it. So we'll do 20 minutes throwing out lines, and then we'll spend the next 10 restructuring. And the 20 minutes is starting now. We are focusing theme of impulsivity. DLJ, was that your hand? Did you actually like literally raise your hand?
That was me dramatically hitting my enter button because I just put something-
Oh,
So I did yeah, boom. Because I only read the write-up thing this morning, so and it was early morning, and I thought, oh, there's a theme. Anyway, 5 minutes later, I had this, and it's rubbish, obviously, because it's only 5 minutes. But I thought, there you go, some notes, ignore them or whatever. But that's my little contribution.
all right. I see the chat. Got it. Wait, but that's a whole poem.
No,
That's
it's
not
just-
gonna. Oh, hey, look, Waboob is here to help us write a poem. Fantastic. Okay. So hi, Mahboob. You just joined us. We were getting ready to start writing a poem. We're staying in a big group.
I vote that, I mean, we can't just steal DLJ's whole poem, but that's a pretty powerful first line. She threw off her chains and ran naked, screaming down the streets.
Indeed.
I
You wanna-
propose we make that our first line and take off from it. Like,
All right, let's
Did
do
you
it.
get the market bit and free trade, free tirade, free trade, or was that just too twisted?
I don't think it's too twisted. I'm just trying to make the group flow it. I don't know. You know, that's up to Maritza, but and you guys, but
Oh yeah, you do with whatever you like. That was
Yeah.
my just yeah. And spell checker didn't like the word regarbing. I think I might have just invented that. But,
Regarbin.
spell checker didn't like regarbing.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Wonder why.
our theme is impulsivity. Is that what you said?
Yes, impulsivity. And we just started and DLJ gave us a whole poem. Yes, the last line is
No,
lovely.
it's just mixed. But I quite like the idea of redressing yourself once you've made something like a faux pas or something, and you tell yourself off, redress, but also redress as in putting clothes on kind of thing.
Yes.
So I was
So
kind of
maybe
what
so
happened.
JP likes the last line. So maybe we'll add that one in after we have other lines. We'll make it the last one.
I'll shut up now because I've done my
No worries. And yeah, so we won't stand on ceremony here, obviously. Guys, just feel free to, unmute, throw out a line. If you don't want to read it out loud, you can just post it in the chat and I'll grab it. And we'll go from there. And we're talking about impulsivity. Should this be one line?
Sure.
I like the "she was briefly real" line a lot, actually.
I want to say something about how much I adore her.
Go for it.
I adore her. I mean, let's start with, I adore her. I'll just say that. And okay, fine. For now. I'm not saying more. I'm just saying, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. Tongue in cheek, I'm done.
All right.
So what do you adore? The impulsivity? Because we've got to get them.
Yes. Who is she and who is her and who is I?
I don't know.
What is her attraction? That is a line. I'm just asking DLG's question. And
Problem is, I can make this bigger. Apologies. Just realized it's very small. That's odd.
while I crawl through the molasses of my routine, With dull eyes.
Does that go on the previous line or a new line?
Whatever you want.
I don't know. It doesn't quite fit there. I'm not sure. Somebody has a suggestion. I'll leave it there for now. Joe, you're awfully quiet over there. You are muted. Can't hear you, Joe.
I was picking up on Brian's line about the sun rose, so I've got a line in the chat. There you go.
Gotcha. It looks like
Impulse.
Joe was trying to say something, but I can't hear him. Aw.
Joe, we can't hear you.
What happened?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. What was- Okay. That's a cool line.
Hey now, we don't want your approval. We want your lines.
Yeah,
Spit them
no.
out.
I gotta
Spit them
come
out.
up. Trees dance and sang with no sound. Let's see.
Be impulsive, Joe. Just give us the first thing that comes to mind. I think I'm funny.
I'm thinking of something like Lord of the Rings kind of thing.
Lord of the Rings.
Whenever I think of the trees, yeah. I forget what
There's
they're called.
trees in Lord of the Rings?
The Ents. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I remember a giant hill. It's terrible. I went to go see that movie not knowing it was a 3-part movie. 3 hours, and they finally went to start the movie and it ended.
Trees sang no sound. Because they were all cut down. I mean,
Well, how are they dancing if they're cut down?
spiritually.
Actually, I'm taking that. I'll take it. Thanks, Joe.
Where are we on time?
5 minutes.
I've got a line to insert.
Do tell. I'll finish mine in a moment. Go ahead.
Between what is her attraction, instead of jumping right to the distraction is her attraction. What is
Well,
her
we're not
attraction?
sure this is going to be the
Right.
this is going to be the order, but go ahead.
What is her attraction? Line before distraction. Yeah, the break there. Steaming espresso to my cold cup, cashew cream, frappe, latte, crap.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I interrupt your line, Maritza? Because I just didn't say one.
Go ahead.
Impulsivity is harmless in the fantasy world. But what about where I live? Where we live. Where we live. We live, not I. We.
It's led to much pain and loss.
Two minutes, guys.
The kiss of life, the kiss of death. Impulses.
Okay.
No pulses.
Hmm.
Steal. And I would like to add. We all like this line. Oops. Can't figure out where we want it, but we kind of all of us mentioned we like this one. Oh, oops. I hit the B by mistake. Apologies. That was accidental. I can't undo it.
That didn't quite make sense without the redressing bit.
I think we have the redressing up top, right?
Oh, did you? Oh,
Do you really?
If we don't, we can take it out. I just know a couple people said they liked it, so I was going to throw it in here. We'll take it out if necessary.
No, but put redressing in, he's saying, I think.
I mean, it's got you've got to have a clothing reference to. So just
Oh,
before
is
that,
it
you've
not in
got-
there? Oh, I thought it was. Hold on.
You got the double meaning of redressing, right? So telling herself off, putting her clothes on. Two forms of redressing, and then regarbing makes sense then.
Because
Or not.
we have her running naked through the streets.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Good point.
Yeah, that's true.
No, there, I found the line. I see what you're saying. There's another redressing line. Got it. Ah, we're pumpkins. We'll put this in
No, you're
here.
right, though. You did have it naked. Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah. We don't need to use it. We'll throw it in and see how we feel about it. Okay. So this is our poem.
I think that's going to work really well, but let's.
Those last 4 lines you're talking about.
What are you referencing,
Yeah.
the whole poem or the 4 lines, Paul?
I just meant I'm glad we snuck those 4 lines in, but we'll see.
Okay. So I'm going to read it once just so we all are aware of the lines are on the table, and then we'll massage and run it around. She threw off her chains and ran naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her, I'll just say that. What is her attraction? Steaming espresso to my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap. The distraction is her attraction. The sun rose to meet her impulsion, ushered in on a rainbow of word vomit and emotion. I crawl through the molasses of my routine with dull eyes, unthinking, uncaring, so freeing just to act. Clouds formed to a great blanket, as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim, and the trees danced and sang to no sound. Spiritually, they had all been cut down, living in the moment, the here and now. They cut down the tree where we once carved our names, chainsaw through the love heart. Impulsivity is harmless in the fantasy world. But what about where we live? It's led to much pain and loss. I raged, you raged. Let's paint the world in shades of anger. But we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses, redressing in quiet reflection and shame, telling herself off, putting her clothes on, regarbing in respectability. I would, first off, that flows like a million times better than I imagined it could. My one thought would be, instead of herself, maybe perhaps ourself and our, because we use we more often in the poem.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mahbub has 4 lines.
Ourselves, yeah.
Mahbub's put 4 lines in the chat, which I think would go very nicely.
Oh, I
after-
didn't see them. Perfect.
Just after the beginning bit. So after the first line or second line, I think he's got a nice bit that would go in there. I think.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mahbub. I'm sorry, I did not call on you. I wasn't certain I wanted to harass you because you had just jumped in. So yay,
He just put them in.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
And I
That's
think
great.
You're
Oops.
right about ourselves. I think it's good.
All right. Let me do that, and then I'll throw his lines up there. Okay, let's go back. And yeah, my word correct also did not like regarbing.
I think we just invented it. It's cool. We got a new word.
I'll take it. Okay, let's see. We will throw it up here.
I think after line 2, yeah. So from 3rd line. Try that.
I'm gonna have to turn off. Sorry, this is something very silly and not important, but it's bothering me.
Spacing.
Yes. Super not important.
No, it is actually.
Also,
That's
super not-
nice. That really does a lot for it.
It does.
Oh, I like that. I feel almost like this should be a second line now, though. Yes, no, maybe.
She threw.
Yeah, yeah, I prefer that. My line, which was as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim, was related to the sun rose to meet her impulsion. So whether you want it closer and it works better, or separate is okay. I don't know.
Separate, probably.
But yeah, that one.
It works well where it is, but we can try it elsewhere. Where do you think?
Well, because I was triggered by Brian's line on the sun rose to meet. So it's
Yeah.
I wanted the
Okay, well, let's
sunrise.
put it here.
Yeah.
See, but then, so this one doesn't work. This one works well next to impulsion because the impulsion is what's ushering in.
Yeah, you're right. So swap those two and it still works, I think. Yeah, that's okay. I like
That works. That works. I can live with that.
The sunrise.
So I think there should be a new paragraph at I crawl, because we've switched from her to I. And that's it.
And then this would
Yeah.
be a space here because it,
We've got cut down twice, so one of those has got a shift. Probably.
where is cut down? Right here.
So spiritually, they'd all been cut down, and then they cut down the tree where we once carved our name. But I wanted the carving of a name to be an impulse thing, like a love thing. We've got cut down twice, but one of them should be changed. I don't mind which.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Decimated. Ooh. Divided into 10. Is that what you mean?
Yes, naturally. Is that not the way one cuts down a tree?
Very precise. Cut it into 10 parts. Or remove a 10th. Is it remove a 10th? Is decimal? I can't remember.
I believe that is the literal meaning. The vernacular allows for decimation to be just the destruction of
Vernacular.
something. Yes,
No such thing.
naturally. Come on, I'm Puerto Rican. Our entire Spanish is vernacular.
But a drunk Puerto Rico in England. Yeah, I like. Good combination.
It's great. You know, I have found so many Latinos around here. It's mind-boggling. Not very many Caribeños, but a few. I play nice with others.
The impulsivity is harmless in the fantasy world. I think should be the lead up to the last bit, because it's the change of heart. It's the realization that we should be applying some reason. Does that make sense to everybody?
So this is what we have as the last bit. We can move
Yeah,
this
so
one
just-
down.
That's it. Yeah, so that goes just before that last bit, because it's almost like a change of heart, I think.
Oh, and I want a space.
I prefer that, but if other people don't.
Yes,
that's
if
okay.
we do something and you
Yeah,
guys
I
have
like that.
heartache, speak up. If you have heartache with what we're doing, you have to speak up. It's one of those speak now or forever hold your peace kind of things.
Hmm.
We don't, I feel like there's a line missing. We need a little bit more answer for this question. Or do we?
Or we don't even make it a.
Alone.
I think it's too wordy, and that thing you've got highlighted needs
Yeah.
to go somewhere. Or impulsivity is harmless in the fantasy world, but then what's the simple few words to say the next?
Well, I had that original line that Maritza liked about which I didn't think made it in there. Hang on, which was
What you got?
Well, the one you said you liked. which
Oh,
was,
yes.
she was briefly real. So that relates to virtual fantasy versus reality, right? I don't know what to do with it, but you said you
But
liked it. So.
right. So she was briefly real is kind of the same thing as
Impulse is horrible.
let's
She
see.
was briefly real. That could work
But we are
actually.
real.
Oh, wait. What if I put it up
But
here? So
That's how
if
it's, yeah.
if I do this, I'm gonna put another space because I want it to be with the next stanza. Put it
Or
here.
is it impulsivity is harmless in the fantasy world, but we are real?
Yeah, I
But
think something
maybe,
after.
but look at this line here. When you look at this, but we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses. I feel like after the word no pulses, it makes a very strong visual statement to say, and maybe not she, maybe because we're talking about all of us. We were briefly real. And the reason being, we're talking about no pulses in general, but we were for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we can delete the question, but what about where we live entirely? Maybe. Just delete it.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it already.
Yeah, it's redundant.
Could we have that? Because I know what you mean by that line being too long. What about impulsivity is harmless in fantasy?
Yeah, fine.
So just delete the word that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Make it work for itself.
I feel like it, but there, it needs another line. It needs a buddy, but I don't know what.
Which needs the buddy, the fantasy bit.
Impulsivity, yeah. Fantasy wants to hang out with reality, and we haven't given it that. We give it shame.
Oh, I see. You don't like the implication that it's harmful in reality. You don't like that implication.
Perhaps.
Well, okay, lose and shame. What about redressing in quiet reflection? No and shame. Because it sounds clunky to me now I'm reading, but why shame? We don't need to
Just get rid of the shame, and then Maritz's association that we're shaming it goes away. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so we've got reflection, but we need reflection, but we don't need
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a bit cryptic, but at least it lets the mind go where it wants with it.
So I accidentally didn't remove that and, but I kind of like it now.
I was thinking the same. I was going to say.
I know.
I was going to say, oh, well, no, that works.
Same thought. I was like, wait, it almost gives it a spoken word quality because it's like, we were briefly real. Impulsivity is harmless in fantasy. Redressing in quiet reflection and telling ourselves off, putting our clothes on, regarbing in respectability.
I think it has a lot of depth.
I like it. All right, let's read it from the top again.
You lose the full stop after on. That doesn't. It's not a separate sentence. I don't think. Yeah, just a picky on punctuality.
Yep, I did not do a good job with punctuality here. So as we're reading it through, if you see lacking or too much, let me know. All right, let's do a read through. She threw off her chains and ran naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her. I'll just say that. In the world of objectification, she ran with stark sensation. She was her sensual self, unafraid, unashamed, triumphant. What is her attraction? Steaming espresso to my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap. The distraction is her attraction. The sun rose to meet her impulsion, ushered in on a rainbow of word vomits and emotion, as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim. I crawl through the molasses of my routine with dull eyes, unthinking, uncaring, so freeing to just act. Clouds formed to a great blanket, and the trees danced and sang to no sound. Spiritually, they had all been cut down, living in the moment, the here and now. They decimated the tree where we once carved our names. This might need work. Sorry. Spiritually, they had all been cut down, living in the moment, the here and now. They decimated the tree where we once carved our names. Chainsaw through the love heart. It's led to much pain and loss. I raged, you raged. Let's paint the world in shades of anger. But we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses. We were briefly real. Impulsivity is harmless in fantasy, redressing in quiet reflection and telling ourselves off, putting our clothes on, regarbing in respectability.
We're so close. Can I
We
ask,
really are.
since I made the line, can you get rid of with dull eyes entirely? Delete that line. It's a redundant again. We crawl through the molasses. We don't need to say with dull eyes. I don't like it there personally.
Say, Mahboob's lines actually really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And at the beginning, the tense has some problems in my mind. Did I adore, is it I adored her? I don't know. The tense has some problems. Read through it from a tense point of view.
she threw off her chains and ran naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her. I'll just say that. In the world of objectification, she ran with stark sensation. She was her sensual self, unafraid,
I think it was
unashamed,
adored.
triumphant.
Can I make a suggestion?
past.
Because we could change it to past tense, but I'm quite I'm thinking about present tense. She throws off her chains and runs naked, screaming down the streets. I adore. I'll just say that. In the world of objectification, she runs with stark
Exactly.
sensation.
We just need to sync the tenses.
She is her sensual self. So I'm thinking present tense works okay, but I don't mind past.
Yeah, I just don't like both. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It could go either way.
Yep.
What do you think, folks? Should we make adored past or this present?
I think I mean, either works. I mean, it just has to be one, I think.
Yeah, now it reads much better because now what is her attraction?
Yeah. That's a hard line to read, by the way, JP. It's a glorious line, but it's really hard to read.
I'm sorry, what did you say about my line?
I said
Streaming
that's
espresso too much.
a glorious line. There's alliteration in there. I'm loving it. There's assonance too, but it's really hard to read.
It's the
Wow,
perfect
there's
answer to this, though. It's like perfection. It really
Listen.
is.
Let me try it, okay? What is her attraction? Steaming espresso to my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
a frappe latte crap wrap.
And
Brilliant.
no, and the best thing is the line that comes after it. That's
But you-
fantastic.
But you paused after espresso as if it's another line.
Yeah, you can separate them to make the breath.
Yeah.
What is that called? Caraskew, something like that, to make the breath in a line.
I think it's better that way, and we'll make it because that's the contrast. You
Yes.
know,
So Marissa, they're just saying a space after, sorry, a new line after espresso.
Oh, like
that's
this?
yep.
Yep.
You don't like that though, Maritza.
Oh, no, sorry. I hit the wrong button. Apologies.
There we go. I'm liking this now. It's good.
Yeah.
She threw off her chains. She throws off her chains and runs naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her, I'll just say that. In the world of objectification, she runs with stark sensation. She is her sensual self, unafraid, unashamed, triumphant. What is her attraction? Steaming espresso to my to my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap. The distraction is her attraction. The sun rises to meet her impulsion, ushered in on a rainbow of word vomit and emotion, as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim. I like that. Do we space this or do we leave it in the 3 chunks? I had a tentative thought that this might be separable, but I almost think it could stay together. Thoughts?
It felt together to me. I don't know. It's a long,
We'll
I
leave
know.
it. Yep. Yeah, I could get behind it.
Keep reading, Maritza. We need to read again, I think.
Okay. She throws off her chains and runs naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her, I'll just say that. In the world of objectification, she runs with stark sensation. She is her sensual self, unafraid, unashamed, triumphant. What is her attraction? Steaming espresso to my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap. The distraction is her attraction. The sun rises to meet her impulsion, ushered in on a rainbow of word vomit and emotion, as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim. I crawl through the molasses of my routine, unthinking, uncaring, so freeing to just act. Clouds form to a great blanket, and the trees dance and sing to no sound. Spiritually, they have all been cut down, living in the moment, the here and now. They decimated the tree where we once carved our names. Chainsaw through the love heart. It's led to much pain and loss. I raged, you raged. Let's paint the world in shades of anger. But we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses. We were briefly real. Impulsivity is harmless in fantasy, redressing in quiet reflection and telling ourselves off, putting our clothes on, regarbing in respectability. So I started with this section to
I don't know how you
convert
do this. It's impressive.
to, say again,
Every time.
what?
Nearly every. We just come up with something. Oh, it's good.
I know, it's
I
crazy.
know. It's
So-
remarkably coherent.
It really is. You guys rock. So, couple thoughts on this section.
So I put a couple of minor things in the chat, and A rather than the world of objectification.
Right. So that's how I read it. I just want to a thought process I want to share with you. So I was converting to present tense, but I feel like
Yeah.
at the halfway point, it is a purposeful statement to switch to past tense, and I think we should keep it because it is
Okay.
stronger. So if I
Alright.
read it, I'm gonna change it to show you what I'm talking about. So right here, we'll change it to forms, right? Forms, dance, sing. have, stop, and then change. And here's why.
Yes.
Let me
Yes,
read it,
I
and
like
it's very intentional. I crawl through the molasses of my routine, unthinking, uncaring, so freeing to just act. Clouds form to a great blanket, and the trees dance and sing to no song. Spiritually, they have all been cut down, living in the moment, the here and now. They decimated the tree where we once carved our names, chainsaw through the love heart. It's led to much pain and loss. I raged, you raged. Let's paint the world in shades of anger. But we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses. So to
Yeah.
me, it's
that.
purposefully done. Everyone, that's okay with you guys?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like
Yeah, can we get rid of it's? It's a little bit, it'll be much smoother.
Where's
Chainsaw through the love heart. Just say chainsaw through the love heart led to much pain and loss. It's awkward to say it's. That's my proposal anyway.
okay?
yes, good. I like that.
This
And
one feels a little bit stilted. I'm not quite.
I think it's adding something. It's sort of saying, look at all the terror that can be wrought by living in the moment. I mean, that's how I read it. We live in the moment, and then all the spiritual trees are cut down and decimated, living in the moment. I don't know. That's how I see it.
What it would be thoughts are on switching these two lines? Does it take that away?
Spirituality.
Is it better to leave it as is?
Where would you put it? I'm sorry, I don't know.
She already
I
switched
just
it.
switched
She
them.
just
So
I think it should, because we've switched to getting more sensible. I think living in the moment needs to be the third line. So I'm thinking uncaring, so freeing just to actually living in the moment, the here and now. And then
Oh.
clouds.
I see.
That can also work.
That would work. I like that. Okay.
yeah, that does work.
And I mean, the last section, I don't think that needs any. That's like, I really love the way that is.
Well, that was written prior to. Right?
No, that's not true. We changed it around.
Did we change that?
You improved
Yeah.
it.
We grabbed this line, these lines, but the rest is ours.
So just near the beginning, Mahboob's line in a world, fourth line. Can we have a world?
In a world of objectification.
So I'm going to try to swap it. Hi, sorry, I'm still here. Are you trying to vacuum? Very sorry. I should be done in maybe 15 minutes. The cleaning crew was looking at me like, women, don't you sleep?
I want a little more count. I know it's small from the to A. I'm not sure I like that though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, what do other people think? There's a subtle but important difference between A and the there. I don't know. It's kind of like hits me a little more powerfully with the, but I need other people's help. I understand A. It's so minor.
Sorry. I was thinking we had two different worlds. We had the impulsivity world. We had the start reality world. So I wanted to not have. So the word "the" to me meant there was only one world, as opposed to A meaning there's potentially more than one. That was where my brain. was
Yeah.
going.
I'll draw that. I'll just say that.
This world. In this world of objectification.
I want to
I
say
think in a world is fine, actually.
in this world, yeah, that's the sense I got of it, is more like there's this world filled with objectifying, and she defies it all. But the
Yes.
world, you know,
I can compromise on this world. Yeah.
I like
Okay.
this.
Like, look, it's
This-
Mahbub mine. He should have the final.
My boob, chime in, chime in.
Come on, Mahbub.
Did he leave?
No, he's still here. My
We
boob.
went with this. This.
It says this, we're
This
good.
is okay.
Okay.
Got it.
It's
Perfect.
the
All right.
deciding vote.
Sweet.
Wow, good job.
This is nice. Sorry, what I'm gonna try to do here is I want to show 2 pages. I think the read mode lets me see 2 at a time.
I gotta say,
That
I'm
is-
jealous of that line.
Which
'Cause
line?
that line, I want to claim that and pretend I wrote it. To my cold cup cashew creme frappe latte crap.
That's
Ooh.
hilarious.
Oh, that's so. Yeah,
That's
stealing that.
so funny. Nope. So I don't recall. Here we go. This is what I want. Yes. Oh, but it needs to be way bigger. I'm getting
know,
there. I'm
Joe,
getting there.
Joe, you sent us down a whole track when you made those trees get cut down. You
Thanks, Joe.
created a giant track we all ran down. Pretty funny.
It
Pretty
is kind of
fun.
hilarious. So
Joe said, nope, we're cutting the trees down.
yeah, we're dancing
Not
with the
spiritually,
trees.
that yeah, spiritually, just spiritually.
But it meant it changed the whole flow and made it a very unique flow.
He took an impulsive chainsaw to the whole poem.
Right. That's great. Yes. Right, because I was going with yeah, that's crazy. All right, so I would like somebody else to read this, please.
I want to hear it in Brian's voice.
Yeah,
Brian.
somebody who hasn't read.
Brian Allenby, would you please read this poem? We're putting you in your spot. You're welcome to say no, but we're asking if you would please. That might be a no, folks.
I was about to say that might
No,
be a no.
no, that's a yes. I'm happily
Yes. Yay, thank you.
read it. Even the lines which are gonna freshen me up a bit. Okay. She throws off her chains and runs naked, screaming down the streets. I adore her. I'll just say that. In this world of objectification, she runs with stark sensation. She is her sensual self. Unafraid, unashamed, triumphant. What is her attraction? Steaming espresso? To my cold cup cashew cream frappe latte crap? The distraction is her attraction. The sun rises to meet her impulsion, ushered in on a rainbow of word vomit and emotion, as if Mother Earth had invented dawn on a whim. I crawl through the molasses of my routine, unthinking, uncaring, so freeing to just act, living in the moment, the here and now. Clouds form to a great blanket, and the trees dance and sing to no sound. Spiritually, they have all been cut down. They decimated the tree where we once carved our names. Shame saw through the love heart, led to much pain and loss. I raged, you raged. Let's paint the world in shades of anger, but we didn't mean it. The moment passed and the colors changed. The kiss of life, the kiss of death, impulses, no pulses. We were briefly real. Impulsivity is harmless in fantasy. Redressing in quiet reflection and telling ourselves off, putting our clothes on, regarding in respectability.
Damn, that's good.
I'll tell you what, that was well read.
Yeah, man.
That was really well read.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm not reading a poem. Shit, that's amazing.
There's some difficult lines in there.
You did phenomenally. You made it seem effortless.
well,
Can
thank
I
you.
make one little last suggestion? It's
You
just
may
a little
not.
bit more-
No.
No,
No? Okay.
nope.
Well, I'm going to say it anyway. And you can just shout me down, right? So we were briefly
Mute 'em.
real. We were briefly real. Impulse, comma, harmless in fantasy. Just to make that line slightly shorter. So rather than impulsivity, which is a kind of
Nope.
techie word.
I like
Impulse, harmless in fantasy is my suggestion.
no, because we use impulses before. I prefer it as is. Rest of you guys?
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry,
I-
DJ. And this one you're vetoed.
All right.
Well, that's a wrap. I say we go home now. Mic drop.
Punctuation. We've got some
Yes.
dodgy full stops in a
We
few
do have
places. which-
some
yeah,
very
kind of, but other than that, yeah, good. Well done, everyone.
That was a
This-
pleasure.
This was such fun. This was great. So you guys can comment on this. I am such a pumpkin. I have to go upstairs and pack now. So
I'd say that first bit that's got that wonderful alliteration. She runs
sorry.
with stark sensation. She is her sensual self, and then we've got assonance as well. Unafraid, unashamed.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good.
All right. Good night, all.
Good night, guys. This was fantastic. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you
Good
next
night.
week. I
Good
will
night,
be-
everyone.
Good night.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Well done, team.
Bye. Oh, everybody ran away. Wait a minute. It's latest for us. Why are we the only ones left standing?
I know,
Because we're
right?
so past the
Well,
tired stage, it doesn't
12
matter
past
anymore.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go
By the way,
pack.
why are your cleaning staff coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Look, dude, I don't own the hotel.
Yeah, but
I'm
aren't they expecting you to be sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why are they coming
yeah,
in?
but I'm in the lobby.
Oh, you're in the lobby. I thought you were in the
Yes.
room.
No, my niece. I'm traveling with my niece, so she's in the room. She's like normal people, and she's actually trying to sleep before we get on the plane.
Right, got it.
But we went up, down, and sideways today, and then yeah, no, it's been a long day.
All right,
Was
enjoy
good.
the rest of your
You
London
d-
trip. And what?
It's done. I'm leaving in the morning.
Oh, right, not going to Paris?
No, I need weeks for
Oh,
Paris. No,
Shelley. So this time of year, it's just
I
my
would
favorite
love
time
to
of-
go. Yeah, but you know what? I decided it would just piss me off to be able to go to Paris for 2 seconds.
Yes,
'Cause
true.
Right.
You
So
need London.
I'm with my niece, and she's new to the working world. She has no leave. So she has to be back by
Wow.
Wednesday. So
How-
and we
how old
came
is she?
for her birthday. She just turned 25.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I'm here. She had no plans. And I was like, no, we cannot have you with no plans for your birthday. Let's run away. Where do you want to
Oh,
go?
I see. I thought you meant you were visiting her and she was already in London.
Negative. No. She lives in
Ah.
the DC metro area.
Okay,
So
all right.
so
Wow, that was
impulsivity.
impulsive. That's
We-
very
we-
impulsive.
We
Let's do
bought the
London.
tickets on Tuesday. Tuesday, as in less than a week ago. We bought the tickets Tuesday,
Nice.
flew on Friday, and we're here for literally 3 days. That's
How
it.
much? Can I ask how much a ticket is from US to UK?
It runs around well, if you buy it in less than a week, it's about $1,100. But we flew on a no frills airline, so we got it for like
Yeah.
$600. There's a new airline that's like a year old from Icelandic Air. It's called Play. And
Mhm.
so you go to Iceland first, and then you come to Europe or to
wow.
UK. Yeah, but it saved me like for $500.
Yeah.
It costs
Okay.
$537 US dollars, but then obviously you have to pay 87 for bags,
Yeah.
40 for
Okay.
seats, and all that good stuff.
Extra for some horrible food as well. Okay.
No food. You got no food.
Oh, you got no food. Oh, okay.
You didn't even
Sometimes
get water. Dude, you didn't even get water.
Oh, wow, that bad.
No
Budget airline.
frills.
Hate them.
Absolutely. You know what though? I don't have any height. So if you have any height, for you would be miserable. But I have negative height, like none. You can't tell because in the screen we look the same size. But no, there's no legs. I don't know if it translates if you know the US non-metric system, but I'm 4 foot 10 inches. So I don't
Oh,
even
decent.
make
you're dinky.
Very,
I'm
very
5'9", so a little
5'9".
bit taller, but my
Oh,
legs
you're
are not that long, so it's not too bad.
5'9". That's average for a guy, but that makes you almost a whole foot taller than me.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah, my knees are hitting are against the chair in front, but they're not like. I've sat next to some people who are like giants, and their
yes.
knees have to go out, and which is annoying because they take your space, and it's like
Those Iceland guys are eating their knees. The guys going back to Iceland, they're just eating because they're so long. It's crazy. But I don't have, I get dirty looks because I can stand up underneath the where you put the. I have like zero height. It's so bad. It's hilarious.
right, but you can't reach to put your bag in, so you've got to get one of the Icelandic guys to do it for you. Oh,
I can. Yeah. So I can put it up, but I can almost never get it down. So I always ask. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I shamelessly. Oh no. The whole little girly, could you please? Shamelessly all the time. But I look like I need help most days, to be fair. It is pretty bad. So no.
Are you still, is your leg still strapped up?
It's not, but it should be. Oh no,
okay.
I have done nothing.
You could really play the victim card, couldn't you?
So
I can't reach out my leg, and just like
right. So I do. Well, I'm limping still, but I'm no longer in the boot. I should be in a brace. Oh my God, I think I'm grown. I got out of the boots and I got COVID immediately the same day. So I was really dying for 2 weeks, but I kind of was half alive come Friday. So I decided to go on my camping trip, which I had scheduled for months and months. And you know what? My foot is not up for? Hiking. It's just not. You know who went hiking? Okay, I was tied up. Super. I had that. Yeah, it was miserable though. Yeah, I did a little one. It was a little hike. I didn't do any of the big ones. It was only 4.2, but I had no business. None. It was miserable. So then, instead of staying home and relaxing and recovering from that foolishness, we're off to Landing. Sure.
Yeah.
Where I'm averaging something ridiculous like, 20,000 steps.
When you're old, young lady. You'll regret it when you're old.
I'm already old.
My grandmother.
I'm not gonna
regret it when you're old, young man.
The joke's on them. I'm not gonna make it to be old. So there.
Yeah, that's why I always used to say, and look at me now. Yeah. Oh, just thought one thing you didn't do tonight, this morning. You didn't do next week's theme.
I did not. Well, let me stop
Don't forget
recording.